after I prepped my skin, I put on all my skincare. I put on my Aveeno moisturizer. It has salicylic acid in it for extra treatment. I put on my Elements rose oil. Came in one of my Ipsy bags, and my Pearlies black spot treatment and the stem cellular eye treatment. Yep, it's all my skincare. So after all that's done, I'm just putting on my primer, and that's the Double Duty Beauty Base Tape by Tarte. It's supposed to be the hydrating formula, and I put on way too much in the beginning, and I just made it work. I just spread it all over my face, and I basically just, made it work. Yep, all done. And now I'm gonna move into the exciting part of the video, which is my first gift. This is just a gift to myself. It was my I bought some Juvia's Place products, and these are the powders, and I'm gonna pick one of them to set my primer with. And I think I picked the shade Namib. I don't know if that's how it's pronounced. That's Kalahari in my hands. It's like more of like a golden color. It's like banana powder, basically. That's Kalahari. And I also got the darker shade, which is Namib, or I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. Probably not. Yeah, that's the darker shade called Namib. So basically, I'm gonna use this brush that I got as one of my Christmas gifts. That's me like busting it open. From my coworker, we worked together. She got me a Christmas gift, and when in the gift was like some makeup wipes, and it's a brush. It's like a powder brush and a fan brush, and that's just me like testing out the softness, because I mean, I didn't know. It seems like a pretty good brush. I mean, I used it for the whole entire video. Used it all over my face. It's me trying to like get my powder open and stuff. I spilt it. Yep, of course. Don't mind my facial expressions. Yeah, I spilt my powder, but yeah, I'm trying to get together here. So now I'm just pressing that powder, the Juvia's Place loose powder, into my skin to set my primer and basically all my skincare. So after I'm done with that, I'm applying foundation, and I'm using the Juvia's Place foundation brush that I got with the foundations. I was really excited. And the Juvia's Place foundation that I got, and I'm in the shade, what's this called again? Burkinia. Again, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. That's me trying to pronounce it. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. These names are so unique. I'm guessing they're African names. Not guessing, they are African names, but yeah, they're so unique. And it's me. This shade, it's like skin, but complete coverage. Like a little goes a long way with this foundation. Like it's super full coverage. It like covered all my dark spots, and I was kind of scared because it's not I considered Juvia's Place as a drugstore foundation, so I was like, ugh. And I bought it online, so I was like, girl. So, but it turned out great. It was good. Yeah, that's me. Like, yep, it's good. And I'm just gonna put it all over my face. So I'm finishing up my foundation blend, just making sure it's blended into my forehead and all that nice stuff. And I'm gonna move on to concealers, and I got 3 different Juvia's Place concealers. I got 2 to like highlight with and 1 contour, and I think I got 10, 12, and 7. And the consistency of these concealers is like super thick, super rich. And the first one that I swatched was number 12, and it's more of like a golden shade to me. Yeah, it's number 12. It's more like golden, and I think that's the first one. I think this is the one I used under my eye. And the next one was I think that was my contour shade. Yes, I think that's number 7. And these don't have any names. They're just numbered. So I had 7 and 12 on my arm, and the last one I swatched was 10. And that's more of like a neutral shade to me. It was like more of a neutral color. It's what I used like to color correct around like my mouth and stuff. That color was just like, just neutral, but it's not, dark enough to be my foundation shade. So then I got into concealing. So this is number 12 in the Juvia's Place concealer, and this is going directly under my eyes. And I just used this because it's more of a golden color, and I like under my eyes to be a little bit more golden. And I did my nose, the bridge of my nose, and my forehead. And then I switched to number 12 to do around my mouth, because I didn't want it to be too bright. I wanted to look more, normal around my mouth, but I still wanted to like cover up, like, sometimes I tend to have like hyperpigmentation around my mouth. So I want to conceal it, but I don't want it to be too bright. Yeah. And then I used 7 to contour with. And the numbers go from darkest. The darkest is number 1, the darkest shade, and the lightest is the highest number, which is pretty cool because in most foundations and most companies, the darker shades have the higher numbers. Like, this is me dancing. I think I was listening to Summer Walker, or it was Tory Lanez, one of them. With Juvia's Place, now I'm like blending my contour and stuff. I do that first before, blending in my concealer. Yeah, the colors were listed. The darkest was number 1, and then the lightest was the last number on the list, which I think was pretty cool. I think they did that because it's normally the reverse. And I'm just using, I've had this brush for ages. It's from Carity Cosmetics, and I use that because it's kind of angled to like brush my contour on my forehead and everywhere else. Now after my contour is blended, I get into my concealer, and I start from the edge, and I try not to take away too much of the product because I want it to be there. I want it to be concealed. I don't want these bags to show up under my makeup. So that's why I let it dry down a little bit. I had to learn the hard way. I've always said that I never wanted to like copy or try to do makeup like other people, but when I tried to do the steps that I learned, they're actually pretty useful. So I started doing that, and it worked out pretty well for me. And I'm just blending the other side, and yeah. So after I'm finished blending in the concealer, I'm just blending out the contour shade on my nose and on my cheekbones and everywhere else. So now I'm just like blending everything on together before I put my powder on. I think like because of all the hydrating stuff I put in my skin, my foundation looked kind of like dewy, but it didn't feel dewy to me. So I'm using the lighter shade to go under my eyes with, and I'm probably gonna use the other darker shade all over my face. It's me trying to open this one. I don't know why I didn't open them before the video. So I'm gonna take my beauty blender. It's kind of damp, and I'm going to stamp on some of the powder on my face little by little until I get the look that I want. And after all that's done, I'm just taking the darker shade and the Juvia's Place powder, and I'm just blending off all of the excess powder and everything else to just make it all come together. Now I'm taking my Morphe bronzer in the shade Romance, and I'm just going to use that to set my cream contour. I'm just taking my little wedge sponge to clean up my contour. If I feel like it looks a bit dark or my contour came down a bit lower than I wanted it to, that's normally why I think they call it reverse contour. Yep, that's normally why I reverse contour. And also I like the look that it gives too. So after I've blended out that reverse contour, I'm getting into my brows, my Benefit Cosmetics eyebrow pencil in the shade 4.5. That's the one I use. And I'm just going to do my brows like how I regularly do them. And I like doing brows before and after foundation. I don't think I like anyone particularly better, but I do like how it looks overall when I do it after foundation and powder. I get why people do it after they do their foundation and stuff. It looks good. It looks like, I guess, a little bit neater than it would if you do it before. Using my M432 brush, I'm just gonna go in and carve out under my eyebrows to make them look a little bit neater, and using the same shade that I used under my eyes. Yep, I had an unexpected guest appearance while I was doing my makeup. So yeah, Orbit, that's my doggy. He, my husband is putting him in my video, of course, because he's trying to mess with me. Yeah, but back to regular programming. So now I'm just blending out that concealer on my eye, and then I'm gonna take a powder and set it all. So after that's done, I'm just taking the lighter shade in the Juvia's Place powder, and I'm just gonna use that to set my concealer down. I don't always do this, but sometimes I feel like I do. And I feel like the concealer is a bit, it was a bit watery, so I just wanted to set it so it wouldn't affect my shadows when I put them on. So now I'm getting into my other gifts, which are 2 eyeshadow palettes from my sisters, Andrea and Dion, the black Rimmel London one, and that peach looking one. The Rimmel London one is from my sister, my oldest sister Dion, and the other one is from my sister Andrea. So I decided to use both palettes in the video because they were both Christmas gifts. And that's a brush that came in the Rimmel London palette. And I was pretty intrigued in the Rimmel London palette because I was really excited to use it. That's me swatching the color in there. It's pretty good. So I'm about to get into it right now. So before I got into my actual shadows from my sisters, I used the transition shade from a palette I got in Walmart called Mirage by the brand Profusion. Yeah. I'm so weird. And I was just using that because I didn't have any transition shades in the other palettes. And then I'm gonna get into the other shadows. So now I'm taking the darker blue shade from the Rimmel London palette, and I'm starting off with that color. And I didn't know where I was going with this eyeshadow. I just didn't want it to look like the eyeshadow looks I basically look, which is like cut crease and gold and like browns. So I wanted to do something different. I actually wanted to use different colors in the palette. So I'm just blending that blue out now. So after I've blended that darker blue, I'm using the lighter blue shade, and I'm just gonna pat that in all over my lid. And I'm just gonna go back and forth with the 2 blues to get like the desired kind of like smoky eye that I'm looking for. I wasn't trying to be like neat or anything. I just wanted to give like a smoky blue eye look. And I'm taking like that brownish purplish color, and I'm just going over the top of the colors because I wanted to like darken the top a little bit. I don't know why. I just felt like the colors would look a little bit more intense and not as blue. And I'm just blending it all out. Now I'm taking that shimmery white shade in the palette, and I wanted to put it on my lid a little bit to add like a pop of shimmer to the look a little bit to make it like not as like smoky. Just still smoky, but just to add a little bit of shimmer to it. So now that eye is kind of complete, I'm just going to go and figure out what I'm going to do with the other eye. Just double checking. So yeah, and do the same thing to the other eye. So now I'm back with both eyes completely done, and now I'm going to get into lashes. Oh wait, first before I did lashes, I used the palette from my other sister, and I used a dark blue shade. The name's actually on this one. It's called Luxury. So after I did my lashes, I went into that dark blue shade and the like lavender peach looking palette and did it on my bottom eyelid. My older sister also got me 2 lip colors from L'Oreal Paris, and I chose to use that other one on my lip. But then I kind of changed my mind later on in the video because I guess I just didn't like how it looked with the blue, and I used another color that I had on hand. So this is me trying out that pink color and like testing it on my lip, and I didn't really like it, so I switched to another color that I had on hand. I like the color itself, but I just didn't think it went with my eyeshadow. So now I'm just using my lip lingerie, the shade Beauty Mark, to do my lips instead, because I felt like the brown went with the blue better. So now I'm using the Wet n Wild powder. Well, I took my hair down and set my face, and I'm using that Wet n Wild highlight powder from my sister, and it's in the shade Awesome Blossom. It's their Mega Glow highlight powder, and I really liked it. It's not too much, it's really subtle, and I feel like it really went nice with the blue. I was gonna use silver, and you're gonna see me change my brow bone highlight in a minute, yeah, because I just felt like the gold looked better than the look at me flashing my hair, shoot. I felt like the gold looked better than the silver for highlight. And this is the brush that I did get from my coworker, so it has a powder side and a fan side. So now I'm taking my slimmer fan brush to just detail a little bit, and then I took that brush from the Rimmel London palette to just do my Cupid's bow, and I think I used it for my inner eye corner later on too, but I didn't do it in the video for some strange reason, but I used it later for the inner eye corner. And that's the finished look, and that's just me trying to like fix my hair and feeling myself a little bit too much. So yeah, thank you guys as always for watching, and I love doing these videos, and I thought this was a cool idea to use my Christmas gifts to do my makeover. So I hope y'all like it, and like, share, subscribe. Have a good New Year's, and hope y'all had a good Christmas. Bye.